Thank you for visiting us on the Fellas Corner podcast. My name is D, and that other guy named OG, where we talk about entertainment, news, and all of the above.
We march today for jobs and freedom. But we have nothing to be proud of. But hundreds and thousands of our brothers are not here. For they're receiving starvation wages or no wages at all. Those who have said be patient and wait, we must say that we cannot be patient. We do not want our freedom gradually, but we want to be free now. The time will come when we will not confine our marching to Washington. We will march through the South, through the streets of Jackson, through the streets of Danville, through the streets of Cambridge, through the streets of Birmingham. We must say, wake up, America, wake up, for we cannot stop, and we will not and cannot be patient.
Welcome, fellas. What you just heard right there was John Lewis. May he rest in peace. A great man, a great congressman out of the state of Georgia. So what you just heard was actually John Lewis, one of the keynote speakers and one of the greatest speeches in American history, the I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King. You know, may he rest in peace. John Lewis, the thing about John Lewis is I think a lot of people don't know a lot about him. You know, we know about Martin Luther King. We understand what Malcolm X stood for, what the Nation of Islam, the marches and everything. But John Lewis was right there by Martin Luther King, you know, a man that sacrificed his life. From what I read, he got arrested over 40 times, you know, beaten, you know, bloodied, you know, to make sure that blacks had equal rights in voting, civil justice for everybody. Just a great, great American person. May he rest in peace. How you doing today, D?
Let me be honest with you. I feel a little tired. Every time I go on Facebook, I always see the same type of people. Tired every time we talk about Black Lives Matter, they rebuttal with us with like Chicago killings. Trump saying there's more whites killed than black people. Like that's some Medal of Honor. When I say Black Lives Matter, people say all lives matter. And I just tired of all the ignorance in America, man. That's not saying that, you know, no life matter, but, you know, until Black Lives Matter, you cannot fix America. I could tell you a story of a lot of races that occurred from 11 all the way to now. I remember when I was in college, I had to fight somebody to say an N-word. So at the end of the day, it is there. People can't be ignorant with the problem that we have in America. No matter what, you could be with someone, you could be walking down the street, and I feel like black people being judged every single day. And, you know, John Lewis is one of those people who is trying to fix the cause. I do see the light at the end of the tunnel if you think about it, because all these protesting march, I'm starting to realize the younger white kids are helping out a lot.
Yep.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, when they're the older ones, it's almost like they're trying to keep their life the way they are. Think about how Drew Brees feels. Mm-hmm. Think about who actually voted for Trump, who actually voted for a lot of Republicans. It's never the young people. Mm-hmm. It's always the same over 40 white men, white women, because they just don't want to change. And I understand that a lot of people have that situation where they, you know what, it didn't happen to me. It's not going to happen now. Mm-hmm. That was so long ago. That was millions of years ago. But guess what? As a 33-year-old black man, it's still happening. And I could tell you this right now. I always see the news, and the first light they picked on black people is that we're murderers, that we're angry. We got angry black queens. We're angry black men, black kings, and that's just not right. Mm-hmm. So, as I said before, we're going to discuss a lot of things today. Now, I can't not discuss what happened over the weekend with Kanye West. What I'm going to actually, you got anything with OG before I play this clip?
No. You said everything that a lot of people think in their heads. You know, sometimes ignorance begets ignorance. you know, especially if you're over 40. But it's the young kids nowadays that seem to have their own mind, and then they decide what's right and what's wrong, not what others say what's right, it's wrong, because they're going way back to ignorance days.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a clip with Kanye West right now and to see if I could try to give you some, like.
I'm going to split the black vote. Well, Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
See, that's right there just didn't make no sense.
Kanye's being Kanye. Wild Wild West, I say.
No matter how Wild Wild West it is, at the end of the day, this is a black man. And I don't know what happened. In the beginning, he used to be all about pro-black.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden, he had a tax problem. And now he's just totally loving Trump, loving everything that goes against everything the black community goes against.
And you would think it's like the black community that he's from, right? You know, from Chicago, predominantly black, right? You know, you would think he would be around people that he knows the struggles that they went through, that he was able to see right in front of him, right?
Right in front of him.
Right. You know, the shoes that he promotes, right? And I know he got a deal with Gap now, you know, so he's promoting it to like pretty much the black community, because they're the ones that's been supporting him since he was just up and coming college dropout, you know, so I don't get it.
I always say with these celebrities, it's almost like a told you so moment. Every time we get a Kanye West in the world, a Candace Owens in the world, a conservative twins in the world, the other side say, I told you so. It's almost like they don't understand what they're doing to their own nation.
Yeah.
So I always say
They're
this.
blinded.
You know, they're blinded, ignorant of how it goes. I always say, as I said before, the whole rebuttal, Chicago killings, like it's almost as if there's no white on white killings too. They just think it's all black on black killings. Yep. So I said before, you know, people, you know, money is the root of all evil, and most of these cats are just doing it for the money. And I don't care what anyone says. There's no way Kanye West announcing president run is not going to hurt the cause. Regardless of you like Biden, Trump, him announcing that he's going to go president, it just don't make no sense. It's going to split the vote, like I thought. And I said those three characters, Biden, Trump, and Kanye, is almost like their mental state is the same. But we had experience for 4 years with the same guy. Experiment for 4 years.
That's right.
And I don't know if
I don't think we're better.
We're nowhere better.
No.
Well, you say, no matter what you think about Obama, I always say at least he gave us some type of hope. The other day I actually look on YouTube and his speeches are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm 2 days later, all of a sudden I'm hearing Trump. It just don't make no sense.
No, he just doesn't. Speaking of that, I don't know if this is exactly true. I didn't hear it. No, I did hear it. I did hear him say, he said something where Biden and Obama quit testing midway through his term.
He said quit testing midway through his term. I didn't know that Corona.
I didn't know that either.
COVID-19 is 2019. From what I heard, I thought I knew.
Yeah.
Obama left in 2016.
I thought so too.
They quit everything he does. He blames other people. He's deflecting. And then soon as you talk about it on Facebook, they have so much excuses. They have so many people just say, you know what, he didn't mean to do it. They have excuses. more time defending the guy than just to fix it. We also, as I said before, if you say, you know, I'm not a racist, I'm not saying you're a racist, but you're hanging out with racist people.
That's right.
Point blank. And people tell me to unfollow the Trump supporters. At the end of the day, I'm not going to unfollow them. I'm going to wait till November and see exactly, because I always tell people, are you going to really risk your friendship for 4 years of one man? Are you? Think about it. Are you going to really risk your friendship for 4 years of one man?
If somebody is ignorant enough to say, hey, you're wrong, then you can turn around and do the same.
Yeah. This topic's always been a little touchy topic. I'm trying not to make it political, but you know what? Let's go to the next topic.
Yeah, great point there.
So you ready? We ready for basketball?
Oh yeah, I'm ready for basketball. I'm definitely ready for basketball. It's been too long, way too long since they had like kind of, you know, what do they call it? Like a hiatus, layoff. You know, it's just it's suspended. The season was suspended. It wasn't canceled, but now it's going to be on suspended. I think July 31st. It's going to be back on TV. I can't wait. You know,
Who you got?
I'm saying Lakers. Yeah, I'm going with Lakers. Yeah,
It's gonna be Clippers, man. Still
I know
thinking
you
like Lakers for some reason.
I know you like the Clippers. I know you think that at the end of the day, the claw. You know,
The claw.
I think that I think LeBron is just too good. You know,
I like LeBron. I'm not gonna say I like. I didn't like him when he was in Miami. I do like him now, but I didn't like him when
I didn't like him in Miami either.
Yeah, for some reason he had the villain.
It's ignorance.
Yeah,
It's ignorance.
He was the villain at the time. Everybody needs a villain though.
Yeah, everybody needs a villain. I agree, but his ignorance just was a turnoff. I would say
Big turnoff
at the time.
Big turnoff.
You know,
and I like D-Wade.
Yeah, I like D-Wade too.
Yeah, I like D-Wade
too.
Chris Bosh, you could do it out, but
I could care less.
care less
I'm not
about Chris Bosh.
You know what I mean?
But
I'm not a fan either way.
believe it or not, the reason why a lot of the big stars didn't want to come back, it was because of social justice.
Yes, that's
So
right.
it was social justice. Obviously, Corona was a big deal too, but a big one is social justice.
That's right.
Obviously, NBA is predominantly black. NFL is predominantly black, and it's one of those things that a lot of people did not want to come back for social justice. So my question to you: who's your top athlete for social justice?
Well, first I want to say that I'm sure they're not listening right now, but yeah, I'm really, really proud of a lot of different athletes that decided to take the approach and say, hey, we have something to say, and I don't care about my bank account. Malcolm Brogdon, he hit the street and he was out there ready to say, hey, what's going on is not right. So Dwight Howard, he said, it's a different approach, but he pretty much was saying that right now we can't play basketball because it's going to kind of water down the message. I respect that. He's trying to say that the message is more important than the game, which it is 100%. And he said that, the game can't, take over, what the message is, but.
And as I said, rest in peace, Breonna Taylor.
That's right.
Vanessa Guillen, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd.
Absolutely.
Everyone who lost the struggle for police injustice and also racism and bigotry.
Yeah. And to kind of piggyback off your question, there's been a lot of, and this kind of also goes back to John Lewis, very influential through his years, advocating, for civil justice. There's a lot of athletes that do the same thing, and I would probably say not in order.
So who's your top five?
Well, my top five, and like I said, not in order. I'm going to start off with, I probably say, and some people will push back on this one, but I think Michael Jordan is in that list, And here's the thing, and this is where, I'm sure we'll both agree on the next name on the list, Muhammad Ali. But of
course.
But Muhammad Ali, the way that he invoked justice is that some people can do it by actions.
Yep.
Some people can do it by words, and Muhammad did both. And I think with Michael Jordan, I think he did it by actions more than words.
I tell you with Michael Jordan, I don't know about, but he is in the top five too as well for me. But I think he did it by more hope than actions. Because as I said before, he haven't really did anything for the black community in a long time. I think recently he started seeing the injustice, and he put up over $100 million with the Jordan brand.
That's right.
But in the beginning, I remember, especially if a lot of people watched The Last Dance, it was a prominent election year for North Carolina, and all he had to do is show face. This guy said no. And he said white people buy his sneakers too.
That's right.
That kind of turned me off. He wasn't going to be on my top five because there's a lot of people you could put above him on my top five. But
I remember that.
at the end of the day, it's all about hope. And a lot of people when you go in the hood, a lot of people say you got to play basketball or rap. So seeing a guy like him playing basketball and being so dominant kind of led the way for LeBron James, led the way for all Kobe Bryant's in the world, all the other person in the world that say, you know what, ambition. So we say, you know what, he's one of the best.
He is. But here's the thing that I think a lot of us don't see is that what Michael Jordan did, beyond the fact that, he gave us hope. He did. He said, we looked at him and we said, hey, here's a kid, just like any of us from the streets, growing up to play basketball, and then he went on to own a company, right?
Yeah.
And he became like the main figure in the biggest, brand of all time, Jordan or Nike sneakers, right? Yeah. But what he also did that a lot of us don't get to see is that he was actually able to put a lot of black figureheads in Nike. He was actually able to say, hey, I don't want to just work for you, Nike, and then promote my brand. I want you to do other things with me as well. And then that's where other players started to come into the mix as well, other black athletes. And then there was other black figureheads, that was able to get prominent roles in Nike.
Now, I might have to draw back on that one too, because obviously one of the big reasons I feel I still have my top 5, but Nike is one of those people. It's all about marketing with them. And as I said before, NBA sells when it comes to marketing and merchandising, and obviously predominantly black. But he did good. I'm not gonna say he did good. Who's your next one?
Let me just say that I buy Jordans over Yeezys.
Nah, I like Kawhi Leonard, so the New Balances. I'll definitely buy over Yeezy though. First of all, Yeezy's too expensive for me. So
yeah, they are expensive. Well, the next one that I said was Muhammad Ali.
Of course.
Probably arguably the first superstar of athletics. He not only played the role.
Yeah.
Not only did he play the role, he backed that up in the ring.
Back it up. If you think about it, he refused to fight because he didn't want to go to Vietnam War. 3 years. A lot of people won't do that. Even though I commend NBA players for not wanting to go in the bubble, but 3 years out of his prime, lost a lot of money, lost a lot of fights.
He did.
He could have been he's still one of the greatest, but his legacy would have been even more grown if he would have played. He lost 3 years in his prime.
Yeah, he pretty much said that I'm not going to allow the government to dictate the black men and put me at risk for my life and fight for you, when otherwise you're not going to treat me as an equal, Yep. And he said, I'm not going to do that. And I think what's more power behind that is that not only did he do that when he was, at the top of his game as a boxer, as a world champion, he did it right after, I think he had Parkinson's, I think 1984, I think he was diagnosed with Parkinson's,
Yep.
and then he still continued to be
fight.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was impactful, in youth. I one of the biggest things that I think he started, or he was a part of anyway, Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yep.
He was huge into that. Special Olympics. He was just a big time advocate. Even after he wasn't fighting, especially when he was diagnosed.
Yeah. So we all say Muhammad Ali. Although I still would put Muhammad Ali number 1. Michael Jordan would be number 5 for me, but I'm gonna let you.
Here's the other thing about Muhammad Ali. I wanted to throw one last part out there that I think this is really interesting. Is that his name, right? Muhammad Ali. So he was born Cassius Clay, and he said, in one of the interviews he had, he said, refer to me as Muhammad Ali. Cassius Clay. That's not my name. That's what I was given as a slave name, or that's where it came from. That's not my name. My name is now Muhammad Ali. And I think I don't know if it was, I think it was the match against Sonny Liston, I think, where in the match he kept saying, what's my name? I think it was Sonny Liston. But he kept saying, what's my name? What's my name?
What's my name? Now, for number 3, I have to say Jackie Robinson. No matter how we put it, to endure so much pain, I'll tell you, the guy used to slide in the home base. They used to beat him up. And as a black man, I don't know if I could have anyone beat me up sliding through home base. As one of the more successful black athletes in the beginning, he was one of the best, I tell you. They retired his jersey in 1997.
Yep.
He was part of the NAACP. No matter what he does, he will always be one of the greatest. And keep in mind, to me, MLB is not a black sport. You probably have about 10% people in MLB, and they're African American. And there's a lot of racism in MLB. So for him to go to that sport and do really well with sports in MLB, and actually endure all the pain, all the humiliation, all the slaps, all the hits, all the names, he's number 3 for me.
Yeah, definitely. Correction on earlier, I said it was Sonny Liston. It was actually Ernie Terrell. That's one that Muhammad Ali kept saying,
Yeah.
What's my name? What's my name? When he called him Cassius Clay instead of Muhammad Ali in a kind of pre-fight, face to face. Jackie, that's a good one. I like Jackie Robinson. That's a really good one. What's the thing about Jackie Robinson is that if, let's say, he wasn't, and here's the thing, you got to kind of imagine, right, D? Being a black man in this sport, predominantly white, all white, pretty much, right?
Oh, white was now is a Hispanic sport now.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, it's changed, right?
They're good at it. I tell you, they're much
Miguel
better.
Cabrera,
Miguel,
Melky, all of them. But shout out to Pedro Martinez. I know that's your boy, right?
No, that's not my boy.
Yeah, whatever. So anyway, but imagine him, coaches are white, owners, everybody, to endure like any name calling, getting hit with things, rocks, who knows what, he was just getting thrown at him, still be managing to say, you know what, like, I have to do this for like my black people, because he can turn around and say, you know what, I can lash out, I could be violent. I could do everything, but then he can say, then I'm going to ruin it for all, future black athletes that will get into the game, like Willie Mays, Bobby Brown, Bobby Bonds, all these Hank Aaron, all these great black athletes that came after him,
Yeah, he was one of the best. As I said before, I love that movie too.
Chadwick
Boseman. Yeah, that was a great movie.
42. I didn't see that movie, but
it was a great movie. Right? All right, so the next one, in my opinion, it has to be LeBron James. For our era, LeBron James is one of the lead fronts for the civil rights movement. Obviously, you could put CP3 in there with him. You could put Carmelo Anthony. But LeBron James is one of them, especially with the I Promise Academy. No matter what, he always leads the charge. He is the face of the league at the moment. Obviously, I think Kawhi would be better, but he's the face of the league at the moment, and you cannot deny what he means to our community.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one, but I'm gonna tower your LeBron with my Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I hear you with the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and a lot of people forget that. But in being in 2020, I think LeBron James should always be right now at the moment. Because the thing with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, if you think about it, he lead the front with. He was with Muhammad Ali and he was with Jim Brown when it comes to civil rights. And as I said before, at this moment, especially the way the climate is right now, LeBron James is going to be one of them. And as I said, it's not really a top five or anything, even though we're fortunate. But I think LeBron James could be arguably one of the more influential people in this moment. He's been in NBA for 19 years. And you think about it, something like that from social injustice. I think probably when he goes down and retired and God forbid he passes, he's going to be on the forefront.
He is. But we still can't ignore the fact that the number one point scorer of all time is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
But at the end of the day, we're not worried about points. We're worried about civil rights.
Well, we're talking influential, right?
Influential. So, that point's so influential because a lot of people don't put him as top 5 biggest players. So at the end of the day,
Abdul-Jabbar, that's probably a topic for another day. But he is. But so the thing is, when you look at athletes, is that they have, and I think this is where LeBron gets a lot of credit. And I think we said this with Michael Jordan and well, more so with Muhammad Ali, is that, during their playing years, is that they'll speak out. They'll do that. Yep. Kareem Abdul didn't speak out as much during his playing years. He did it mostly after the fact. He's a presidential Freedom Award winner. That's something you need to commend. Same thing that Martin Luther King won. That's highly important, I would say. Yep. He wrote a lot of books. He spoke. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you around here at the time, but back in 2017, he spoke at Brown. It was like on Channel 10. So he speaks. He's definitely for rights. He's able to come out whenever he can, and at his age, I don't know, 78 or whatever he is at this point, to come out and speak. So the thing about LeBron, he's doing it as he's playing right now. And that you need to commend that, because he's saying that I'm not just an athlete. I'm not going to just shut up and dribble. I'm going to come out and speak what's on my mind, and I'm going to be the type of player that's going to speak on the injustice around the world and use, my, notoriety, use like my power for good than just for the fact that I can make endorsements money. So I'll go with I like your Kareem Abdul. I like your LeBron over my Kareem, but I think Kareem is also in that list.
So here's the thing I feel about LeBron. He is basically everything what everybody wants to be right now. He came from a single parent household. He loves his mother. Came basically at 18 with all the world looking on his shoulders. And he delivered. At the same time, he leads the movement for a lot of people. And that's why I commend him. Obviously, I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, honorable mention, obviously we have a lot of honorable mention here as well. If you put honorable mention, you got to put Jim Brown in there, Arthur Ashe in there. You could put that as well. Billie Jean, although she's not black, but she for the woman, she's one of the best as well. So I know that's going to be, I think the gist of everything is
Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens, obviously, especially with Berlin. Jesse Owens is one of those things that the way that Berlin is one of those, a place that at the time was very racist. So Jesse Owens
white supremacy.
White supremacy at its fullest. But he won four medals against in front of Hitler. It was in front of Hitler, right? So he was a big influence. He was a big influence with a lot of social justice.
First time I think it was the 11th Olympic was televised.
Yep, first time 11th Olympics was televised.
So to be able to be on TV, the world watching in this country that pretty much looks at him and says, "You don't belong.
You don't belong." Just the same thing with Adia Gibson, first black woman in Wimbledon. Same. I
didn't know that.
Oh yeah, same exactly. Same. Joe Lewis was also in Burlington, beating Snelling. That was one of those things they disapproving all the Aryan race. That was one of the big things. It was Charlie Sifford, first golf winner of the UGA National Negro Open. He was inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2004. So it was a lot of movement. But
Bill Russell too.
Bill Russell. He was in Boston. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
One of the most racist cities in the world. Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. One thing about the North, and I always say, at least the South, you can see the racism. North is kind of hidden. They won't tell you.
It's like the evil you don't see versus the evil that you do see, right?
But as I said, we got influential, but you also have not influential. And I tell you.
That's the list because, like, it's kind of like that if just because you don't say anything doesn't mean that you're not part of the problem. Sometimes you are part of the problem because all you're doing, you're turning your eye to the injustice, to the, just kind of looking away at something that you can otherwise impact.
I think, the first one I'm going to put is got to be Tom Brady. Regardless of how you feel, hey, 6-time championship, I get it, but as I said, if you sleep with the duck, you talk like the duck, guess what? You a duck. And you sleeping with Donald Trump. And I get it. A lot of people don't understand.
He had the hat, I think.
Sooner he had the hat. And no matter what, if you look at the climate right now, everybody's speaking up. And he's one of the more influential, especially up north. He does not say one word. One word, and he loves Donald Trump, I tell you. I don't know if it was tax breaks, but he loved Donald Trump. Yeah, he's one of those. I always will put him in that list. I was going to put Drew Brees, but you know what? Drew Brees, the problem with Drew Brees, he's all about his belief. Yeah. And he did a lot for the New Orleans community, but his ignorance is really the problem with
Hurricane Katrina.
His ignorance is really the big problem with me. He does not see it, and he's in the category of the white folks who don't want to see it.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Now, to your point, when he said what he said, like in that news, and then like Michael Thomas, a lot of other athletes came out and said, hey, you still don't get it. LeBron said the same thing. You still don't get it. And then he was able to come out a couple of days later and apologize, if I'm not mistaken.
You only apologize because you got caught.
He got caught. That's right. But he came out and said, hey, I understand now. I get it. It's not necessarily like turning your back on military. It's what that flag stands for, So he's acknowledging that what he did was wrong.
I always say this, military.
Or dumb.
I have a sister who's in the military. She's in the Air Force. But keep in mind back in the day how the military was. They used to put black people in the front lines because they was like the pawns. And a lot of people forget how chess played, but they're pawns.
They're pawns, yeah.
So even if his father and his grandfather had great time in the military, when they go home, black people wasn't suggest they still, as a black man in America, there's still a black man in America. No matter what, you have to take that uniform off. You can't take away your skin color. So redlining, obviously the grants, they used to have the grants, and they used to supposed to be for the military, but it was only for the white folks. So the way that he is blinded by exactly what happened in the military, I wanted to put him on that list. He's gonna be still on my bottom list, but you know what? It is what it is with him. You just got to get taught. Yep. Now, this one might be controversial, but I think the next one got to be Tiger Woods. So Tiger Woods is one of those things that I say he don't even think of himself as black. And a lot of people, you could say all you want, he doesn't think of himself as black.
I like your answer.
So he got his, you could get all the accolades, first black this, first black that, but he does not see himself as black. A good one. So, and I would say, I'm going to give you a little conclusion or a little summary about golf. Golf is not a black sport. It's really about you have to be rich for that. Because if you think about it, the reason why basketball and football is such a popular sport to the African American community, because it's easy to play. It's cheap. You don't have to spend.
You can just go outside.
Go outside, get a ball, and that's
Throw
it.
it around.
But with golf, you have to buy the club. You have to travel all over the place. It's expensive. And obviously, the poor community, you cannot afford golf. Not saying that we can't be great at golf. That's why you see some of the athletes, when they get rich, they'll go right to golf.
Easy.
Or go right to golf, and they're good at it.
Yeah.
So imagine if we had some money. You think we would be good at golf?
I think we would.
I think we would. I think we would. But he don't
Practice.
He doesn't consider himself black. And the funny thing about it, every time he has some type of interview, first thing he says Thailand. He's half this, half that, quarter this. It just don't make no sense for me. So I don't know. It's just a little iffy for me.
All right. So my next on this bottom list is Floyd Mayweather.
Oh.
You know, I kind of look at him. He's kind of like the opposite of what Muhammad Ali.
He's like a disgrace.
I mean, a guy so talented, you know, with that type of fierce, you know, competitive, you know, mind, you know, to just do what he does, to have that kind of influential like backing from all communities, to just not come out and say anything at any point that otherwise, especially like in the last 7, 8, 9 months, I haven't heard from him. Nothing.
Yeah, the guy, he's
other than
one
when
of
a
those.
fight's coming out, you hear him come out. He promotes. You know, whether it's with Conor McGregor or Pacquiao. That's the only time he comes out.
All about the
and
money.
says something.
He's trying. He'll try to say that he would give a lot to the community, but he doesn't give a lot to the community.
He's given to the community is the fact that he has like probably 9 or 10 security guys, right?
Yep.
You know, so that's given to the community. I know he owns a couple of strip clubs, so I understand.
I don't know about that's community.
Well,
I guess.
Well, I mean, I guess that's what he means by that, right? He's employing people. So is that what that is? I mean, I'm not seeing him donating to the cause. You know, if he's not out there speaking at a podium or out on Twitter or whatever, speaking his mind on injustice. But if he's not doing that, then what is he donating to the cause?
Hey, whatever cause he's doing, listen, I tell you, I don't think he's a role model to anyone. I don't care. No one said he's not a role model. So whatever community he's donating to, let him donate to whatever he feels like it.
I mean, just start a Boys and Girls Club, right?
Well, you can't start a Boys and Girls Club. Not with him. He can't read.
Well, yeah.
He can't read.
You could hire somebody,
Yeah,
right?
hire what?
Yeah, he's
he
like
try to
over
use big
200
words.
million, right?
You ever talk to him? You ever seen his interviews? He's trying to use big words.
Nah, never.
He don't understand one word.
So maybe he just got knocked too much in his head?
No, he just didn't know how to read. He didn't finish school. He was just a fighter. So my next one, and this is as plain and simple, Nolan Ryan. One of the most racist pitchers out there in the world, I'll tell you. He does not like black people one bit. Now, he's considered the one of the best pitchers, but he doesn't like black people one bit. I don't even have to tell you anything about him. I would suggest that you do a little bit of research on Nolan Ryan. This guy do not even want to, at the time, Negroes was going straight to the league. He said he's going to hit them and hit them hard, I tell you. So Nolan Ryan is probably one of those people I don't even want to speak of. He's despicable as a man. He's a great pitcher, but that doesn't ignore the fact that he was a racist. So Nolan Ryan, forget it.
I thank you for that. I didn't know that. You educated me on that, and it's sickening too when you have a person that like just seems to divide themselves from a certain color or race. Because why? Because they feel like he's just inferior. They both play the game that they love. They all practice. They enjoy the game. So why separate himself from the others, right? Just because somebody else looks different. I mean,
I think that's what it is. So out of this topic, I got a little bonus topic for you, OG.
Bring it.
So I was listening to a lot of podcasts the other day, and it was a podcast that I'm not going to mention the name of the podcast, but it was a pro-black podcast, but it was pro-black woman podcast.
Okay.
So one of her answers was, one of her questions was, why should they not protest black men? So it's basically a podcast saying woman is the best, black woman is the best, and we should never, ever protect the black men. And, it kind of hurt me because at the end of the day.
They should not
protect the black men.
Okay.
So it kind of hurt me because I do understand because we have a lot of black queens that's for the fight. I tell you, they take care of us. They take care of the kings. But I feel that I protect all the black queens because no matter what, black queen, to me, the men could be the head of the household, but the queen is the neck. That's right. We can't move until they move. Yep. So my thing is, she was going at us. She said black men don't protect them. Black men do not do anything for them. Black men talk down on, and I know a lot of people, they actually look at the music videos and think that every black man is like that. And I always have to tell people, music videos,
that's wrong.
we are not like that. Black men are not like that.
That's so wrong. That's so wrong because there's so much attention put on music videos that this is how somebody, let's say in this case, this is how a black man treats a black woman. This is how the black man is. What about movies, right? Isn't there like movies out there that depict a white person as a certain type, right? Like how's that any different? Like you can look at movies and say, oh, that's a movie. That's not real. It's written. And then you look at a music video, but like, that's how it is. That's reality. No, that's not right. If this girl, this woman, is going off on this is how I feel. I mean, that's how she feels. I understand. I disagree. If maybe just like who she is and how she approaches people, and then that's the response, right? That's how somebody will retaliate. If you come up to a person and you're gonna come out ignorant, right to the point, sometimes they're gonna react the same way, and it is what it is.
I have a feeling it was when she was young. It might have been a lot of people didn't have the preference. And then listen, I love my black queens. No matter how it is, I love my black queens. I dated every single race out there, and I love my black queens. Mm-hmm. So I think what happened is when she was young, she liked a lot of the black men, and I don't know if it was rejection or it's just, but you got to keep in mind, people have their preferences. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a light black queen, dark black queen, they have their preferences. And you can't, just like every woman's not the same, every man's not the same. Mm-hmm. So I always say, if you love someone, love is love. Just love them, regardless of what skin color you have. Now, personally, as I said before, I would like to talk to her, but obviously I don't want to message her. I don't want to tell her that because, it's a lot of people on her messages saying the same exact thing that I'm saying.
Yeah, I got
so
you.
it just, I always say you want to be in a situation that you uplift everyone. Mm-hmm. Black queens, black kings uplift each other, because if you're not pro-black, then who is? Yeah. As I said, we don't want that I told you so moment. We have a lot of Candace Owens in the world. We have a lot of conservative twins in the world. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of people who does a lot of self-hate. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to promote that. Mm-hmm. And I get it, the cause, the Black Lives Matter, if it's not your cause because you have some type of conspiracy there with it, at the end of the day, we got to protect ourselves, because no one else will going to protect us. Yeah,
this is the time where we just need to join together, right? Have one voice, be on the same page, and look at it as if, like, we can't divide by saying that I oppose this person or this person because of this and whatever it may be. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing is just kind of throwing credence to what some others are saying, right?
Exactly. It's the I told you so moment.
Yeah, I told you so.
I can tell you this. One thing I noticed, I saw in a video of, it was a black lady who was smudging the whole Black Lives Matter painting in front of the Trump Tower. Mm-hmm. And soon as you see it, you go right onto her Instagram. Yeah. Every white person agree with her. Say, really? Hey, oh yeah, they was like, oh, you're American. I guarantee if she didn't do it, they wasn't gonna say she's American. Yeah. So that exactly type of speaking and the type of rhetoric, if you say it, that's what they agree with, because they want that "I told you so" moment.
It's that ignorance that begets ignorance.
Exactly. We don't want to "I told you so" moment. I'd hate the "I told you so" moment. I love being black. I love my kids that are black. Yeah. I love and as I said before, two of my kids are half black, half white. But it was one of those things that I saw one of my youngins. Mm-hmm. He has a Snapchat, and he's light as can be. And he on his Snapchat he made himself dark. Hey, I love that, because no matter what, if you get stopped over and pulled over on that license, they don't have a mix. They have black or white.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You're black. Even if you're like 1/10 black and 9/10 white, you're still black.
You're black no matter what. You're black no matter what. And then sometimes you got to understand, it is some type of injustice in this world, regardless of how you feel. And ignorance is not the way of solving anything. That's why I'm so happy that the generation Z's of the world, they're starting to realize it. Because at the end of the day, the ones that's over 40, it's kind of too late for them, because I don't think it's ever going to happen. Yeah,
those are the ones that they're set in their ways. Their minds can't be changed. Yep. And if anything else, all they want to do is almost like impact the younger kids' thinking.
They don't want that conversation. They don't want that conversation about black and white, because at the end of the day, they forget that so most of the slaves actually helped them grow the kids. So they don't want that conversation. If you think about it, You really think someone in the slave plantation, the mother's gonna cook?
No.
Who you think was cooking?
So if they weren't, for 200 years plus, if they were there doing their own cooking, raise their own kids, who's to say they would actually be that much better?
Exactly.
They wouldn't be.
And they can't cook, I tell you. Some people can't cook. As I said before, as I love being black, pro-black all the way. Obviously, in November, it's going to be one of those situations that we got to see. I just don't want no 4 more years of this. 4 more years. No. As I said before, is it really worth it losing friends for 4 years of one man?
If somebody's, like I said earlier, somebody's gonna look at you a certain way, you can look at them back the same way. So if, let's say, somebody doesn't align with your views, it's like friends. Sometimes you lose friends along the way. They might have been good for this point to this point because you guys had the same interests, common goals, a lot of similar, ambitions and whatnot. And then along the way, things change, right? And you go a certain way, they go a certain way, and if somebody's doesn't align with your beliefs and your goals to what you feel is the right movement, and they feel like their movement is different and better, then you get them out of the way, right? Yeah,
I tell you, I just don't get it. There's a lot of craziness that's going on in the world, and I don't want to add to the craziness. You know what? You still get so mad about that Kanye West situation. Mm-hmm. Now he is not for the call. I tell you. And Chance the Rapper,
birthday
he said
party. I think that's what he was calling it.
Birthday party.
Yeah.
Because every time they vote for him is his birthday party.
Yeah, I guess.
He said he was going to give everybody $1 million if they have kids.
I didn't read that, but yeah. I know. Oh yeah.
I'm
sure that's gonna happen.
Yeah, that guy is crazy.
But then again, what didn't he have like that beef? I think was it Taylor Swift? I think way back.
But it's not a beef. That's a more marketing ploy.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying this goes way back. So this is not. Like, this is just who he is. He's like mentally deranged, right? They saying that he has an episode at the moment. They saying it's some type of mental breakdown.
Mental breakdown at the moment, and I don't know if it's a mental breakdown. But if he has a mental breakdown, why anybody giving him a mic? Because it's just a lot of craziness. Why anybody giving that guy a mic? It don't make no sense to me.
So if this is the case, let me ask you: would you do you have anything Adidas?
You know what? I got some Adidas. I don't know if I'm. You say get rid of Adidas.
I'm not saying get rid of Adidas, but like if this continue, well then again, I guess he's only making money off Yeezys solely, right? Nothing. Yeah. Because he doesn't really promote Adidas. He just promotes just Yeezys.
Just Yeezys. Okay. Although I have some stocks in Gap, and I'm so mad right now because it's down because of his little down? Rhetoric. Oh yeah, it's down right now. He said that unless they put him on the board, he's gonna walk with the Gap deal.
What?
Oh yeah. I don't know if that's
that kind of power. Anyway,
he thinks he has that power, but he could. I don't know if they signed the deal. They might have signed the deal already, so I don't know if he could walk. But that's a big news.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to Gap to pay $120 for a T-shirt.
Well, it's supposed to be cheaper.
What, 90?
No. Gap is cheap.
No, we're talking about the Kanye brand.
No, it's going to be cheap. So one thing, he had a vision saying that everything is more affordable. At first, when he created Yeezys, he didn't want it to be $150 to $200. He wanted everybody to do it. But obviously, supply and demand made it a little higher. So he has a vision. I get it. I get the vision he has. But as I say, I don't think he's going to be expected because Gap is failing right now. So
yeah, for all your listeners out there, like go on our Twitter page. It's Fellas Podcast at Twitter. And
also go on our Instagram page at Fellas Podcast. Fellas Corners Podcast on Instagram. Fellas Corners Podcast on Twitter.
And tell us whether or not you'll buy the Gap if Kanye keeps up with this his antics.
I don't know. I know I just put some money in Gap. That's all I care about.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to. For you to make that money, people gotta buy stuff.
See, as I said, I'm a loyalist. So when it comes to clothing, jeans have to be Levi's and the shirts have to be Target. No matter how you do it, the shirts have to be Target, jeans have to be Levi's.
I got you. So right now, if one of your sons said, "Hey, Dad, can we go to Gap? I want to get this shirt," you're gonna tell them turn around and go back the other way.
Well, Gap always have good deals.
They do.
They always have good deals. They're cheap. You don't have to go crazy. If you go shop at Banana Republic, that's when it's expensive. Banana Republic is expensive. You ever rock? Yo, you never shop. What's your favorite? Do you even go to Banana Republic?
No, I mean usually I get stuff online. I got like Nike stuff usually directly from Nike's website. free shipping. Do that.
Free shipping. But if you go to Old Navy and Gap, they got free shipping.
Old Navy,
too.
I know you can get good deals.
But Old Navy's Gap.
That's how, actually I was gonna say that. I felt Old Navy. Gap owns Old Navy, right?
Gap owns Old Navy.
Yeah.
So it's just
Target is linked somehow with
Target.
Gap.
No, Target is a totally different company. That's a retailer.
I know it's a retailer, but no, I'm talking
They're not
about
linked.
this,
No way happening. No such thing as Target is linked with Gap. That's a retailer compared to that.
Like maybe ownership group.
No, the Target is a retailer. Gap is a clothing line. There's no way they're linked.
No, you're probably right.
Yeah, it makes sense. It would make it don't make sense, but actually, if you think about it, that's like Walmart not gonna sell their clothes because they have Gap in there. You know, that Walmart is supposed to be a budget friendly. Target's supposed to be like a little bit more high end, budget friendly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Gap is a totally different. They have Gap, Old Navy, and Banana Republic. But I'm losing money now because of that thing. I tell you, Kanye just messed the whole internet up with his little Harriet Tubman didn't free slaves.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like so do you think he believes stuff like that? Or he's just doing it just for the kicks, just to
I think he rambling, and when he start doing his rants, it doesn't make sense. It's just he doesn't know how to articulate his words. It just doesn't make sense. It almost sounds like someone I know named Trump. It sounds just like
Are they best friends?
They most likely are best friends. You know what I think too, and it might be a conspiracy theory, but Kanye West was so pro-black before at college dropout and everything like that. As soon as he had this tax problem, he was all for Trump. And I'm thinking that they must have did some type of tax break. It has to be a tax break. Why he started going crazy with Trump? Mm-hmm. You don't think so?
Yeah, it has to be, especially like when you're making that kind of money. I mean, right now he's worth $1.3 billion.
The 1.3 or 1.6?
Maybe he's at 1.6 now, but he's just climbed up that Forbes list, right, easily to 1.6 billion at this point. And I'm sure along the way, where his
1.3 billion.
1.3. Okay, so 1.3. So, but he's climbed his way from somewhere around 600 million like a few years ago to that much now, and you can't attribute that just based on him just getting the Yeezy brand, because I mean Adidas just promotes it as hell. They continue, so I'm sure there's some tax breaks along the way, right?
It sells a lot, though. I can tell you that right now. It sells a lot. Enough of Kanye. Yeah, what about that Tory Lane situation? How's that?
Bring me up. Oh, you talking about where Megan Thee Stallion?
Megan Thee Stallion, that entanglement.
So do you think he shot her?
I don't know if he was the liquor involved. He's trying to say it's an accident, but he shot.
So he did that.
He shot. I don't think he meant to.
Because she, obviously she's not going to snitch and say that he's the one that did it. But if they're out hanging out, right? And I think one of the other Kardashian was there, right?
It was
Kim's the youngest sister.
It wasn't Chloe. It was
Chloe.
Kylie Jenner.
Kylie, yeah. So is that the youngest or second youngest?
That's the youngest.
Okay, so those two and him, they're all chilling, right? All in the car. And then an argument comes out. I saw the video and you see.
Well, she didn't want to leave. That was the big problem. She didn't want to leave. They was actually together. The rumors allegedly they was actually seeing each other, and he didn't want to leave. She didn't want to leave, and he did not want her to leave at all. So he started to say he shut out the door of his car.
Oh, to scare it to stay in.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I got you. And then somehow
that's a pussy move.
Yeah, and then we hit her off the leg, ricocheted or something.
Ricocheted, you cannot do that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's our queen right there. I'll tell you.
She's up and coming too.
Up and coming.
Yeah, she has some beef too. Way back with do you remember Carl Crawford, the baseball player?
Well, he didn't want to pay her.
Yeah, he didn't want to pay, but I'm saying well, she wanted out of the contract. I think what it was.
It's a contract.
Yeah,
no
but she wanted out. I would too, because I think it was like I think the whole issue was that not only was him giving her little money, which she was just blowing up, that she was supposed to pay for her own videos, all the other like extras and people, all that was coming out of her pocket. So she's like, "You're giving me little money, and then I got to pay for all of this."
That's what happens. He didn't. Hey, it's a contract's a contract. At the end of the day, contracts is a contract.
And I think he strong-armed one of her producers or something too.
Or the producer strong-armed him. Who knows?
I don't know. But so like the whole point of it is that like she's gone through issues already, right?
Yep.
So she's up and coming, went past that, making her way up, making great videos. My fellas out there, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Making great videos. And then for the shit to happen, I hope she comes out good. And then she's from Houston too.
Houston. I tell you, the body on the Houston. I tell you.
Yeah,
her video big right now with Beyonce, that song.
Oh, I didn't hear that one. The
it's a
last one I
beautiful
saw was
song.
one with her and Tyga.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Is a Beyonce one's the number one. Number one on there. One of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything with Beyonce touch is kind of
but everything with Beyonce, Jay-Z has to approve.
Oh, yeah.
So like, you know, how good. I'm sure the music is good because Beyonce is talented as hell. We all know that.
Oh, yeah.
But whatever she's wearing, whatever the video is showing, Jay-Z approved it first.
Speaking of Beyonce, she about to release Black is King. She just released a trailer. It's crazy. Oh, it's crazy. I love that song. Black Parade. Woo. That's one of the best songs I hear in a while. That's uplifting for our black queens, I tell you. Black Parade is one of the best.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Is Beyonce above Whitney Houston right now? As like one of the greatest black women out there. Aretha Franklin.
No, as in record sales, Whitney Houston, her catalog is big. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Beyonce could, as in popularity, probably better.
Yeah, that's because we're in the social media age. So I'll go with that. I'm talking about like in that Hall of Fame level of like right now, we'll agree on this, I think, 100%, that Jordan is the best basketball player of all time, right?
I believe so.
But LeBron, he's more productive, right? And Kawhi Leonard, I know he'll be in that mix too. They're more productive because they could do more than just, take it to the whole,
Not saying nothing like that.
So that's what I'm saying. Where Beyonce, she's more productive, right?
Yep.
She's out there. She's doing Super Bowl halftime show. She's doing featured, right? Albums, concert, movies, all of that, right?
I hear you.
But Whitney just did it in a level where it was like, this chick is like she's on top of the world. And in that,
but
6-7 years.
Whitney Houston sold over 200 million records. Beyonce sold over 100 million records. Now that's crazy. Whitney Houston,
Whitney has that head start of like a good 15 years at this point.
One of her records was sell crazy. Whitney Houston is arguably one of the best.
Yeah, the I Will Always Love You, The Bodyguard, right? The Bodyguard was the movie that was also the soundtrack. The song was from that, right? Yeah, I Will Always Love You. That was from the Bodyguard soundtrack with I don't know if it's Kevin Costner. What?
Definitely Whitney. I tell you,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that was my question: is Beyonce right now like above Whitney?
I have to say, popularity wise, she'd probably be above Whitney, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. That Whitney Houston was 22 million records sold.
That's crazy.
Then when she went to Whitney, it's 20 million records sold.
Yeah.
Then she went to I'm Your Baby Tonight. That's 10 million records sold.
Yeah.
I don't think Beyonce had that.
No, I don't think so either.
Beyonce never had that.
No.
I love her songs. When I get married, Love on Top is going to be my intro song. I love that song.
Yeah.
I love that song.
The other thing, too, she also had the Destiny's Child. She had that little career, not little, but I think
even if you combine that, I don't think so.
Two levels. She had two lives. She had, the only thing you can say with Whitney, her two lives were was with Bobby Brown, right?
A lot of people as well. Bobby Brown tried to say that it was her who started up. She's from North New Jersey, I tell you, and that's a rough area. Mm-hmm. So they said it was really her that started, but everybody know Bobby Brown did something.
Yeah, Bobby Brown, of course he did. If I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough history about like different type of like upbeat bands, but I think New Edition was around before there was like New Kids on the Block and. Who's some of these other like white groups that were popular, right? There was New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, right?
Yep.
Before there was any of them, you had New Edition, right? Yep. Eventually was Belle Biv DeVoe, right?
Belle Biv DeVoe.
Then you had Boyz II Men. So you had all these groups. So I'm saying Bobby Brown was part of a movement.
He was part of the movement. Back in the 80s, it was a lot of boy R&B groups. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. There was a lot of amazing.
And we're talking about post Motown. Yes. Because there's a difference. I know Motown, you had more of that in studio, older men, doing that. Then you had like the young up and coming cats like hitting the streets and put on a show.
And then when the 90s came along, it was a lot of boy groups. Mm-hmm. A lot of boy groups. And then obviously you have the single like the Ushers and the Worlds and things like that. Mm-hmm. Now, you can't never have a boy group at the moment. I don't even think they can survive. Right now, you cannot survive in a boys group.
So that's the other movement right now. Is that you can't have a boy group. Like B2K, was they the last one?
But right now, it's all about singles.
Yeah.
I don't think albums is really the play at the moment. It's singles and concerts.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, what was the last concert you went to?
Shit, I don't know. I don't remember. Well, like we already talked about this way back. when I was at 20 or 21, I brought my sister to a B2K concert in Worcester.
B2K.
I was over 18. I had to bring him. So but that was
chaperone.
So I had to bring it to that. I remember that. And Mario was there. Remember
Believe it or not, the first concert I ever went to, and you wouldn't even think of it, is it's going to be Blink 182.
Oh shit, the three rockers,
yeah,
right?
with Travis Barker.
Travis Barker, yeah.
I had to. I won a trip.
Did he survive a plane crash?
What are you talking about?
He survived a plane accident.
Travis Barker did not survive a plane crash. Will you get to Travis Barker?
Fellas, get on our Instagram right now.
Travis Barker did not. By the time they go on Instagram, we're not going to see him.
Tell my Instagram tag right now so they can get on it.
No, the Travis Barker is a drummer. He didn't survive no plane crash. What are you talking about? No, first of all, Travis Barker is a drummer. He didn't survive a train crash. But I remember when I won tickets to go Blink 182. Yep. And actually, now I'm thinking about it. It says something about a plane crash. Travis Barker was critically injured. Okay,
all right.
You stared me wrong. I'll tell you.
Thank you. No,
he didn't die. He survived it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he survived a plane crash.
Usually, that's people who really die from those type of things. It was Travis Barker and DJ AM.
DJ, I think he died.
Not in the plane crash, right? Wasn't it overdose?
Okay, I know he was in live, but all right. So, but that's my point, is that he survived it. But they were huge. They were popular. They were. You could pretty much say they were like that hybrid rock and roll with some pop, with some Beastie Boys mix to it.
Yeah, I liked them. It was a good concert.
That was the last concert you went to?
No, that was the last. The last concert I went to was 2 years ago on my birthday, Chris Brown concert.
Oh, yeah. That was that in Connecticut?
That was in actually Mansfield, Massachusetts.
All right. What is that called? Is that the Tweeter Center? Or is that?
Yeah, it was the Tweeter Center.
Okay, yeah.
It was the Heartbreak and Hotel. It was a Heartbreak concert. That was an amazing concert.
Yeah, is that why you on episode 2? And for those that haven't listened, go check it out. Episode 2. You was telling us Chris Brown is better than Usher.
I'm a big Chris Brown fan. Okay. No matter how you put it, I'm a big Chris Brown fan. Okay. I don't like his personality, but I love his music. So
it's funny. I like his personality.
But that concert, look how crazy that concert was. It was her, Black, and Chris Brown, and her. I love me some her. Her is one of the best I tell you to do it at the moment. I love her, but that was a good concert. You gotta get to that concert.
So who was the lead in acting?
Chris Brown.
No, I'm saying not the lead. The first. I
don't know. I think her wasn't big at the time. It was Black, then it was her, and then it was Chris Brown.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Black, her, and then Chris Brown.
The main. Like, not the main artist, but you have kind of like that warm up act.
It was Black, her, and then Chris Brown.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Chris Brown was going to be the lead. Chris Brown sells so many tickets for.
He has to be. I figured that. Well, you said Chris Brown concert.
Yeah,
so right?
She wasn't as big at the moment, but she was number 2. She was definitely number 2 on there. So it was an amazing concert. I love that concert. You know what? Chris Brown was actually supposed to be on concert last year, and I missed him. So my top.
It's gonna be wild till the next one. Then.
The next concert I want to go to is it's Sam Smith. I want to go to Usher concert.
Sam Smith, yeah.
Sam Smith, Usher. I want to go to Jay-Z concert. A Fabulous. And the Cameron Dipset.
They're all not going to be in the same concert.
Oh, they're not going to be in the same concert, but I'm talking about those are the 5 concerts I want to go to.
You said Cameron too?
Cameron's coming on.
Cameron is doing music still? Isn't he running all these businesses right now?
No, he's doing music still. He just got an album, Purple Haze. Purple Haze too.
How long was that?
That was a couple of months ago. That was last year, actually.
Then I'm behind, and I didn't see that.
You don't know Purple Haze. That was actually a lot. He's going to have
a couple months ago?
Yeah, a couple of months. It was like 5-6 months ago. He had a concert coming up too. I'm seeing when his concert. It wasn't in. He supposed to. I know they canceled a lot of it. He got a lot of concerts in Canada. Oh, Connecticut, September 19th.
Oh, that's the next Cameron one.
Yep,
and it's still ready. You can still buy tickets.
Is that Foxwoods? Yeah, is that Foxwoods? September 19th, 8 p.m. You know what? I might have to go to that one.
Yeah, we should wear our Fellas podcast t-shirts.
Yeah, we should. We should.
Yeah, people know what about.
Fellas, as I said, follow us on Fellas Corner Podcast at Instagram. Follow us on Fellas Corner Podcast at Twitter as well. If you have any questions, DM me.
Email us too.
Email as well. We will say
at Gmail.
I always want to have some input. A lot of people what they want to go over as well. So email us, and your topic might be the next topic as well. Yeah, Cameron, September 19th. Oh, you got Little Kim, The Locks, Nori.
Kim.
Yeah, Nori. September 19th.
Nori?
No, I don't know if I want to listen to Nori.
Wow.
But
Nori had his thing. Yeah,
he's gonna have I'm not gonna say that, but it's
saying when Like I say, Nori kind of introduced that rap reggaeton to
Grimy.
to us, right?
Grimy. Who is the with Nori? It was Grimy. Lumity.
You talking
Did
about the album that the other artist that was with Nori?
Reggaeton. Was it Lumity?
Looney Tunes, I think.
Lumity. I'm talking about the singer Lumity.
I don't remember.
Never Alone Leave. That was one of the best. I used to love Lumity. Lumity was one of the best. It was like she only has one hit. Like
Oh, yeah, I remember the track.
that was a good song. And then they have those twins. Can't remember those.
Oh
two.
yeah, the twins. It's not Aventura, right?
No, that is not reggaeton. That's
I'm trying to think.
That's nowhere near reggaeton.
Yeah, the twins, the two dudes. I know what you're talking about, right?
The two girls.
I'm thinking of these two dudes.
Well, Lumity was one of my favorites when it comes to reggaeton. All right, so that's it for our podcast episode.
Fellas. Yeah,
As I said before, follow us on Instagram, Fellas Corner Podcast, and also follow us on Twitter, Fellas Corner Podcast. Now, love life, live life. See you later, okay?